Picture this. You're in your 30s, you're making more money than you ever have before, but you've got this nagging feeling that you're just treading water. You're doing all the right things, paying down debt, saving a little here and there, but that dream of building real generational wealth? It feels like it's for somebody else. For people who got a lucky inheritance or gambled on the right crypto coin years ago. The pressure is real. You've got your career, maybe a mortgage, maybe kids, and this constant voice in the back of your head telling you you're falling behind. Recent surveys show that rising costs are the #1 financial fear for more than half the population, making it feel totally impossible to get ahead. But here is what most people do not realize. What if I told you that the old advice to just save 10% and hope for the best is actually the very thing holding you back from the single biggest financial opportunity of your life? The key to unlocking a true legacy isn't some secret stock tip or a risky side hustle. It's not about tracking every single coffee you buy. It's a mental shift. A change in your perspective that separates those who build a lasting legacy from those who just get by. In the next few minutes, together, we are going to break down the 3 core mindset shifts that will unleash the incredible financial power of your 30s to build wealth that lasts for generations. Before we dive in, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Finn, and I am passionate about making financial education easy and helping you transform your relationship with money into a healthy one. I believe wealth building doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be consistent and strategic. Let's be clear. Your 30s are what many call the defining decade for your financial future, and for a very good reason. This isn't about creating panic. It's about recognizing your power. The mindsets you adopt right now will have a bigger impact on your net worth than at any other time in your life. Why? Because your 30s are a unique convergence of 4 powerful forces. First, your income is rising, giving you more firepower than in your 20s. Second, you have enough life experience to be serious about the future, but you're not so set in your ways that you can't make a change. Third, and this is the game changer, you still have the most powerful wealth-building tool on your side, a long-time horizon. You have decades for your investments to grow. And fourth, you're facing big life decisions, a home, a family, that bring your financial priorities into focus. The mistake so many people make is thinking that building wealth takes a secret password or a massive stroke of luck. It doesn't. It just requires a new operating system for your brain. It's about moving from playing defense, just trying not to lose, to playing offense, where you are intentionally playing to win for yourself and for the generations that come after you. This isn't about being cheap or depriving yourself. It's a fundamental rewiring of how you see money and time. We're going to deconstruct the 3 essential shifts that take you from just earning to building a legacy. We're moving from scarcity to ownership, from short-term pleasure to long-term vision, and from a consumer to an investor. This is the foundation. Let's build it together. The first, and I'd argue the most critical mindset shift, is making the journey from a mentality of scarcity to one of ownership. What does a scarcity mindset sound like? It's that constant hum of anxiety. It whispers things like, I need to cut back more. I can't afford that. Or, if only I could save a few more dollars. It's a mindset obsessed with defense. Think about it for a moment. It's like trying to plug holes in a leaky bucket. While being smart with your expenses is important, a pure scarcity mindset puts a ceiling on your life because you can only cut your expenses to 0. Your potential to expand and own, however, is literally infinite. This scarcity thinking is a trap. It keeps you small and exhausted, and it's why you feel like you're just treading water. The problem is your focus is on what you lack, not what you can build. Now, What does the ownership mindset sound like? It flips the script entirely. It doesn't ask, what do I need to cut? It asks, how can I expand? It doesn't say, I can't afford that. It asks, what would I need to do to afford that easily? And, more importantly, is that thing something I truly want? Or would I rather own an asset that pays me? The ownership mindset is about going on the financial offense. You stop seeing yourself as just an employee trading time for money and start seeing yourself as a capitalist in your own life. Your goal is no longer just to earn, but to own. Own what? Assets, pieces of businesses, stocks, portions of real estate, rental properties, and anything that generates income while you sleep. Think about this. Every financial decision gets filtered through one question. Does this get me closer to owning more assets that will work for me? This single question changes everything. So, how do we actually make this shift? Here's your how-to guide. First, let's do a skill and asset audit. Grab a piece of paper and list two things: skills you have and assets you own. Your skills could be anything: writing, project management, coding, being a great organizer. These are potential income streams. Your assets might be a small 401k or a savings account. Seeing it on paper makes it real. Now, brainstorm one way you could monetize a skill. Not a huge side hustle, just one freelance project or a single consulting call. The goal is to prove to your brain that you can generate income beyond one paycheck. This breaks the scarcity mindset by showing you have more control than you think. Second, define your asset number. Forget a vague savings number. Instead, set a tangible goal for the assets you want to own. For example, in 5 years, I want to own shares in 50 companies through my index funds and get my 401k over 6 figures. This reframes the goal from just hoarding cash to accumulating units of ownership. It turns getting rich into a game you can actually win. Third, and this is a daily practice, reframe every big purchase. Before you buy something non-essential, ask the question: is this a consumption expense or is this an investment? No judgment here. Sometimes you'll choose consumption, and that's fine. But asking the question forces you to see the trade-off. That $1,000 for a new gadget could instead buy you a few shares of an index fund, an asset that will likely grow and pay you for the rest of your life. It's about consciously choosing between a temporary want and a permanent asset. The ultimate luxury isn't a fancy car. It's the freedom that comes from owning assets that fund your life. This shift is the foundation. You're no longer just getting by. You are a builder. You are an owner. The second monumental shift is moving from a mindset of short-term gratification to one anchored in a powerful, long-term vision. Our world is a battlefield for your attention, and the main weapon is instant gratification. The buy now, pay later button, the social media feed of lavish vacations, it's all designed to fuel lifestyle creep. That's when your spending magically rises to meet your new higher income. You get a raise, and a fancier car suddenly feels like a necessity. This short-term thinking is a dream killer. It keeps you on the hamster wheel, earning more but never actually getting ahead. You feel successful, but your net worth is flat. You're renting a lifestyle instead of building a life. The antidote is a long-term vision, but that can feel a bit fuzzy, so let's make it real. A long-term vision is about falling in love with your future self. It's about having such an exciting picture of your life in 10, 20, or 30 years that you are happy to make trade-offs today to make that future a reality. And the engine that turns this vision into a mathematical certainty is the eighth wonder of the world: compound interest. Because you're in your 30s, you are in the absolute sweet spot. Every dollar you invest today has an almost unbelievable potential to grow exponentially. Let me show you the numbers, because this is where it becomes undeniable. Imagine two people. Person A starts investing $500 a month at age 30. Person B waits until age 40 to invest that same $500 a month. Both use a simple index fund, averaging a 9% return. When Person A reaches age 65, their portfolio will have grown to approximately $1.4 million. When Person B reaches age 65, their portfolio will be worth around $540,000. Let that sink in. A 10-year delay, a single decade of prioritizing short-term wants, cost Person B nearly $900,000. That is the staggering power of compounding you can harness right now. So, how do we cultivate this vision? Here's the how-to guide. First, use the 10-10-10 rule for your future. Before a big purchase, ask, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes? In 10 months? And how will it impact me in 10 years? That rush from a new luxury item feels great for 10 minutes. In 10 months, it's just another thing. In 10 years, it might be forgotten. Now apply that to investing the money instead. In 10 years, that single investment could have doubled or tripled, silently building your freedom. Second, and this is the most practical step, automate your long-term vision. The most effective way to build wealth is to make your future self the most important bill you pay. Before you pay for anything else, a part of your paycheck should be automatically sent to your investment accounts. This is called paying yourself first. Set up automatic contributions to your 401k, especially with an employer match, that's free money, and an IRA. The system runs for you, feeding your wealth engine in the background. Third, make your future exciting. It can't just be numbers. It has to be emotional. Create a freedom vision board. What does life look like when you're financially independent? Traveling the world? Funding your kids' education? Starting a foundation? Find images, write it down, be specific. Look at this regularly. This is your why. You're not giving up a fancy dinner. You're trading it for a month in Italy in your 50s, funded by your investments. That's a trade worth making. If you are ready to take control of your financial future and learn how to make your money work as hard as you do, subscribe to Grow With Me. Together, we will navigate this journey of building lasting wealth one smart decision at a time. The final, powerful mindset shift is transforming your identity from a consumer to an investor. The consumer mindset is the default setting in our society. It sees money as a tool for one thing: spending. Income comes in, and its main purpose is to be exchanged for things that mostly lose value. This is the path to living paycheck to paycheck, even with a great salary. It's a cycle of earning and spending that builds nothing permanent. The investor mindset is a radical shift. It sees money not as something to spend, but as a workforce to be deployed. Every single dollar is a tiny employee you can put to work in the global economy to earn more money for you. Your job isn't just to earn a salary, it's to be the CEO of your own personal holding company, strategically allocating your dollar employees into assets. When you internalize this, everything changes. A $100 bill is no longer just $100. It's a soldier you can send into the market to capture more ground for you. A bonus from work isn't fun money. It's a platoon of reinforcements to accelerate your path to freedom. Shifting your perspective to see expenditures as potential investments in your future is a cornerstone of this process. This is the essence of generational wealth. You're not just earning to spend. You're accumulating capital that works for you. So one day, you and your family don't have to. You're moving from being a player on the board to owning a piece of the board itself. So how do we cultivate this investor identity? Here's the final how-to guide. First, calculate and gamify your investor ratio. This is a powerful metric. What percentage of your gross income are you actively investing? Experts suggest aiming for 15% or more, but just tracking it is the most important part. If you make $6,000 a month and invest $600, your ratio is 10%. Make it a game to get that number up. This shifts your focus from "how much did I spend" to "how much of my work did I turn into permanent ownership?" Second, become a tax-advantaged zealot. An investor learns the rules of the game to win. The government has created special accounts to incentivize you to invest. Think of them as wealth-building cheat codes. I'm talking about your 401k, Roth or traditional IRAs, and HSAs. For 2025, you can contribute up to $23,500 to a 401k and $7,000 to an IRA. A consumer ignores these, leaving hundreds of thousands in tax savings on the table over their lifetime. An investor maximizes them. It's rule number one. Third, and most fundamentally, commit to becoming a lifelong learner of finance. You don't need to be a Wall Street pro, but you must own your financial education. The consumer outsources this thinking. The investor embraces it. Read foundational books like The Psychology of Money or The Simple Path to Wealth. Listen to reputable financial podcasts. The more you learn, the more you'll see the world through the eyes of an investor. You'll see businesses, not just stores. You'll see cash flow, not just prices. You'll see opportunities for ownership everywhere. We've covered a lot, but here's the bottom line. The single greatest financial opportunity of your life is the mental transformation you can make right now in your 30s. It's not about a magic bullet, it's about upgrading your thinking. Let's recap the 3 shifts. First, you move from a scarcity mindset to an ownership mindset. You stop obsessing over cutting back and start focusing on how to expand and what to own. You become a builder. Second, you graduate from short-term gratification to a long-term vision. You harness the incredible power of compound interest by falling in love with your future self. And third, you change your identity from a consumer to an investor. Every dollar becomes a tool, an employee building your legacy. Your 30s are the launchpad. This is the decade where your rising income, your experience, and your long-time horizon create a perfect storm of wealth-building potential. By adopting these 3 mindsets, you're not just managing money, you are changing your entire relationship with it. You are laying the foundation for your own financial independence and for a legacy of opportunity that can last for generations. The power's not in your paycheck, it's in your perspective. All right, now the real work begins. I want you to take one of these ideas and make it real this week. So let me know in the comments below, what is the one mindset shift you are going to start working on? Are you going to do a skill audit, calculate your investor ratio, or maybe create that vision board for your future? Declaring it publicly is a powerful first step. And if you are serious about building that legacy, make sure you watch this next video on the 5 biggest financial mistakes to avoid in your 30s. Thank you for investing your time with me today. Now go build your future.